Small businesses going bust, untold job losses, 700,000 people fleeing the city. London is in dire need of rejuvenation. So what sort of stunning, uplifting visual imagery could best inspire Londoners to put the trauma of lockdown behind them and throw themselves into the summer with a feeling of unbridled optimism? For sake. That's right, two of the worst things to have ever been inflicted upon the world, modern art and Sadiq Khan, have teamed up to deliver up this hideous monstrosity. It's part of a £7 million Let's Do London tourism campaign to promote the capital city. Brilliant work! Yeah, it's about as brilliant as your record on crime. Not very brilliant. Looks like it was drawn by a 6-year-old kid on Ritalin. It should be in the children's section of a gallery. Not the face of London's rejuvenation. Who's responsible for this? David Hockney. Some god-awful, overrated pop art twat from the 60s who doesn't even live in London. He is considered one of the most influential British artists of the 20th century. Influential at what? Making people's eyes mind the gap. More like mind the crap. In fact, a giant turd would have taken more effort to draw than this half-arsed excuse for art. When you get owned by Specsavers, maybe it's time to admit you dropped a bollock. All artists are prepared to suffer for their work. It's a real shame that David Hockney expects the rest of us to f***ing suffer on his behalf. Respondents offered up their own versions, most of which were actually better than the original. Brilliant work! Recall that Sadiq Khan literally banned this beach body fitty from being displayed on the underground. So showing youthful, healthy women is verboten because some fatty's feelings might get hurt. Yet this visual abortion gets government endorsement and pride of place. They're banning ads showing burgers while forcing us to witness this optical holocaust. Khan also set up a diversity commission that could lead to many of London's iconic monuments and statues being torn down and replaced with what? A statue of Stormzy, Harry Styles clutching his handbag. But Piccadilly Station isn't the only victim of Hockney and Khan's aesthetic terrorism. Similar eye cancer is being displayed at numerous different locations across the city. We were also treated to this delight: some squiggly yellow lines on a background of a field to represent sunrise. And he created it on an iPad. King iPad, a glorified Etch-a-Sketch. Talk about phoning it in. He gets paid God knows how much in taxpayer money and he can't even be arsed to paint a shit picture like he normally does. London, David, you said you'd have something to us by today. Crashing noise. London, David, are you there? Panic, scribbling sounds. David Hockney, yes, just sending it. Look at this. Remember that you cannot look at the sun or death for very long. Yeah, I'd rather look at the sun and go blind than have to observe this cack-handed piss take for a second longer. Where's the rest of the 7 million going, Sadiq? Lots more to come very soon. No doubt you're gonna plonk a giant throbbing in the middle of Trafalgar Square or something. Brilliant! I mean, it's not like we could use the 7 mil for something a little bit more important, is it? Yet again, we witness the ghouls that control our society, inflicting upon us the mass uglification of the world. But never forget, objective beauty exists. It serves to elevate the soul and cleanse the mind. It serves to broadcast the fact that you live in a society that cares about you. Exquisite buildings, monuments, and sumptuous works of art serve to bind society together through shared values, a common history, and a deep sense of place and meaning. The antidote to utter shite like this, which represents nothing but a gaping vacuum of feckless apathy. They're doing all this for a reason. And the reason is they want you nihilistic, they want you depressed, they want you rootless, they want you atomized.
It's been a huge cultural shift, an almost deliberate attempt to expel beauty from the place in human life that it naturally occupies, which is the centre.
They want you to feel miserable and powerless, but you can rise above it by continuing to call it out for what it is. Total, unmitigated
Olá pessoal, tudo bem? Aqui é o Tradutor. Eu tô passando para te avisar que eu tô numa campanha para conseguir pelo menos mais 9 apoiadores até o final do ano. Esse canal não é monetizado, então totalmente depende de você. Eu preciso muito do seu apoio para manter esse canal atualizado e vivo, né, no ar. Os links para apoiar esse nosso projeto estão na descrição desse vídeo e no comentário fixado. Então é muito fácil e muito simples de apoiar. É graças a essas pessoas incríveis que eu posso estar trazendo conteúdo para vocês. E é isso aí, pessoal. Não se esqueçam de deixar seu like, seu comentário e até mais. Fui! Grande abraço.